Folks, hey, welcome back to Hambone TV. Hey, check it out. Today is all about the Swindle Shuffle, and let's just say I watched a YouTube video by Gerald Swindle where he broke down the Swindle Shuffle, and I went from catching a few fish to a lot of fish. But before I tell you exactly what the Swindle Shuffle is, I recommend watching the YouTube video that I watched. So I will leave the link to that video on YouTube in the description down below. So I recommend you watch that one first so you can hear it first from Gerald Swindle himself. But I'm going to explain it in, I wouldn't necessarily say my own words, but my own words. But basically it's what he said, because I truly listened to the video, and then I went out to the water and I did exactly what he said. And like I said, I went from catching a few fish to a lot of fish. And not only in that video he talked about, y'all know Gerald Swindle's all about chatterbaits, and I'll get into chatterbaits, but what it also led me to doing was also the same technique, the Swindle Shuffle, with a swim jig. And I haven't fished a lot of swim jigs, but after taking what he said with the Swindle Shuffle and the chatterbait, I took the same thing and applied it to the swim jig, and they work completely in tangent with each other. And when I explain what it is and you listen to his video and you truly take what he says, you go to the water and you do it, whether you're fishing a jig, a chatterbait, or I mean, you could do this with a Texas rig, an eco rig, and you do exactly what he's saying, whether you speed up or slow it down, you could apply this with a variation of bait. So I'm going to explain what the Swindle Shuffle is, how I applied it, and then I'm going to take it from a chatterbait to how I applied it to the swim jig, to try and give you an overall what it did for me and what it can do for you. So what is a Swindle Shuffle? So basically what he says in the video, and alright, before I tell you what it is, I'm going to explain what I did wrong, because that will help make sense of what it is. So for example, with the chatterbait, what I was doing wrong is when I cast that chatterbait out, I'd let it sink a little bit and then I would just slow retrieve it. Or I would cast that chatterbait out and I'd let it sink to the bottom, hit the grass, and I would do a slow retrieve back. Hey, I'd feel some grass and I'd rip it through. Well, what this Swindle Shuffle is, and what he was saying is, I believe it was 99% of the time, he's not doing a full slow retrieve on that chatterbait back. What the Swindle Shuffle is, here's the whole, hey, what's in it for you? Why are you watching this video? What do you want to take away from this video and go put it on the water, right? What is a Swindle Shuffle? The answer to, and what helped me catching fish, is when you cast that chatterbait or jig, get there, when you cast that bait out, let that chatterbait fall all the way to the bottom. What he said was engage that reel and keeping that line tight. When you instead of reeling, gently take your rod from the 8 o'clock position to the 10 o'clock. So really you're just bringing your rod up, and you're feeling that blade on the chatterbait vibrate. The chatterbait is a vibrating jig. You're bringing that chatterbait up, you're feeling that blade vibrate, and you're not, he said, don't let it fall. He said you're controllably, we'll say, setting it back down. And when you set it back down, you want to keep that line tension, set it back down, reel a little bit, so you always have control of the bait, we'll say. And then so you're in cinch, you're just picking it up and setting it back down. You're picking it up and you're setting it back down. So basically slow reel, pick up. That's why if you watch one of my other videos, when I watched it, I went out and I took only one rod, and I did it with a jig, but literally all I was doing, picking it up, setting it down, and with a nice little cadence with a reel and a pop, a reel and a pop, and all of a sudden, and by keeping that tension on the line, I was able to feel him pop, boom, gave him the smack. And I'm telling you right now, I went from catching a lot of fish, or excuse me, I went from catching a few fish to a lot of fish. When it comes to, and that was with just with the chatterbait, right? So again, I have gone away from just casting out, reeling that chatterbait in, or just slow rolling it through the grass. So to take it from a chatterbait sense to a jig sense, what I've been doing with the swim jig is simply just pop and reel, like that Swindle Shuffle is basically said that 8 o'clock position to the 10 o'clock. You're just bringing it up and you're bringing it down, and you're gonna have to learn on your rod. Mine, I just a little bit of reel, a little bit of turn of a reel, and that's what was working for bites for me. Now, depending on the day, depending on the clouds, depending on the weather, you might have to speed it up, you might have to slow it down. And I wasn't very confident with the jig for the longest time, but after watching his video and me going out to the lake, so I recommend you, if you want to become a more confident person with whether it be a chatterbait or a jig, go to the video description below, go watch his video, hear out my little ramble on my mistakes and how I learned, but watch the video. Just go out to your lake with just a chatterbait and a jig and pay attention to exactly what he says, and keep it very simple, and just focus on the 8 o'clock position to the 10 o'clock position, and a slow reel and a slow pop, and just you're basically just bouncing that bait up and down on the bottom. And it's really the cadence. For the longest time with the jig, I was doing long pulls or all this crazy pop action, and I just didn't catch a lot of fish, so I didn't want to fish a jig. After watching that YouTube video and him explaining the Swindle Shuffle, and then I went out and I paid attention to it, and I stared at my rod instead of staring out and doing all this crazy stuff, staring at it, calming down and doing it. It's like deja vu. Man, I wish I would have done this before. So I recommend watch that video, understand like, hey, my mistakes and what I've done to correct my mistakes. Think about what you're doing on the water, think about what you've done in the past, and hey, I hope this helps you like it helped me, because like I said, I went from catching a few fish on a chatterbait, I went from catching a few fish on a jig to being pretty darn confident when it comes to chucking a chatterbait, and especially flipping and pitching a jig and having a lot of fun. I mean, getting up to docks, or I mean, whether open water, just I love fishing. I always wanted to fish a jig, but I was never good. But now the Swindle Shuffle, and taking the time, you have to put in the time and the work and the attention. You have to take the time to go out and just focus on, hey, this is what he said to do and this is how to do it. You have to take the time, and it's not just one time, it takes multiple times to do it. But I guarantee if you put in the work and the time and you focus on what you're doing, like it helped me, it will help you. So I got the kayak today. I literally got 3 rods. I got my chatterbait rod, I got my swim jig rod, and I got my Nico rod. I got my spinning rod with the Nico setup on it. And realistically, the Nico setup on my spinning reel is the same thing. Simple pops, simple, slow, controlled pops with the Nico rig. I've been doing the same thing, and if you think about it, Swindle Shuffle on everything. Nice, slow, controlled pop, picking it up, set it down. So, hey, I hope this video helps you out like it helped me out. To the G-Man, hey, if you ever see this, hey, I appreciate it. Let's spread the word, get the Swindle Shuffle out there, because this is the answer catching fish right here. So, hey, let's get the kayak in the water. Let's go catch some fish. Oh, got him. I saw my line go. Fish on. There we go. On the swim. Holy cow. This is not a small fish either. This is not a small. We gotta get out of here. I don't want to hit a boat. This is not a small fish, guys. This is what I'm talking about. I saw my line go sideways. Check out this hog. Make sure we... Took me a little while to catch the first fish, but holy cow, this is worth it. Holy crap. On the swim jig. Oh, he's barely inside of the mouth. Don't get off, don't get off. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. On the swim jig. Oh, let's get out of here. Holy crap. Holy cow, look at that fish. That is a freaking brute of a largemouth bass. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm speechless. Holy cow. Hey, Swindle Shuffle right there. Just slow, 8 to 10. Oh my gosh, look at the belly. All right, let's get that swim jig out of there. Check it out, let's get him back. Straight up monster largemouth, let's go. Oh, right there, as soon as it hit it. There we go, on the chatterbait. Little Swindle Shuffle, baby. Telling you what, throw it out there, let it drop, give it a little pop, and they'll take it. Crush that chatterbait. Look at that right there, straight in the dome piece. Get out of these weeds. That thing is reefed up in there. Look at that. Not a huge one by any means, but I'm telling you, just that little, that slow casting it out. Just tiny dish pickle. I love it. Just that tiny little 8 to 10 he talks about, bringing it up. I mean, that was as soon as it hit the water. Happened so quick, I feel like I brought it up, but you gotta pay attention to. Let's do it again. There we go. Right there. Slowly brought it up. Set it back down. Did it a couple times and boom. Swindle Shuffle right there, I'm telling you. Help me out, I'll help you guys out too. And as always, boat flips. There we go. Good fish. Good healthy fish. Dude, right there. That is like textbook Swindle Shuffle right there. Good fish. Good fish. Cast it out. Let it drop. And then slowly lift it up. Set it back down. Lift it back up. Set it back down. Basically just so you can feel that blade vibrate. Then he hammered it just like that. Textbook. I'm telling you, textbook. Let's go. Folks, hey, that is it for this one. Hey, 3 fish. The first one was an absolute hog. Second one hit it basically as soon as it hit the water. I just let it drop, and hey, I started pulling, and I saw the line. So the line go left, get that pop smack. And that third one was the prime example of that Swindle Shuffle. I watched the YouTube, I went out, and I did it. I let that chatterbait hit the bottom, gently pulled it up, set it back down, pull it up, gently set it back down, and hook set. So, hey, I believe in it. It's been working for me. Like I said, I'll leave the link to that video that Gerald Swindle did in the video description below. Hey, I recommend you watch it. It's helped me. It should help you too. So with that, that's a wrap. Y'all take care. Take it easy. See you on the next one.